You're alone in a room. The door is shut, the house is quiet, and there is no one behind you. You know this. And yet the hair on the back of your neck is standing up because some older part of you is certain you're being watched. You turn around. Nothing's there. There's never anything there. But that feeling, the one that just made you check, is not a malfunction. It's one of the oldest survival systems ever built. And the reason it fires in an empty room is stranger than you'd think. Start with a simple question. What does it cost you to be wrong? Imagine two of your ancestors on a dark path. Both hear a rustle in the grass. The first assumes it's the wind and keeps walking. The second assumes it's a predator and freezes. 9 times out of 10, it really is the wind, and the second one wasted a jolt of fear on nothing. But on the 10th time, it's a leopard. The first ancestor is dead. The second one is your great-great-grandmother. This is the whole logic of your nervous system in one sentence. A false alarm costs you a few seconds and a spike of adrenaline. A missed alarm costs you everything. So evolution did the math and built you to overdetect. 2 scientists, Randolph Nesse and George Williams, gave this a name: the smoke detector principle. A smoke detector that goes off when you burn toast is annoying. A smoke detector that stays silent during a real fire is fatal. So we build them to air loud. Your brain is a smoke detector for danger, tuned to scream 1,000 times for nothing, rather than miss the once that matters. In 2000, psychologists Marty Haselton and David Buss formalized this as error management theory. When the cost of 2 mistakes is unequal, a well-designed mind will be biased toward the cheaper error. Feeling watched when you're alone is the cheap mistake. Not feeling watched when something is behind you is the expensive one. You are the descendant of everyone who kept making the cheap mistake over and over for 300,000 years. But here's what's fascinating. This isn't just a vague sense of unease. Your brain has dedicated hardware for exactly one thing: detecting when something is looking at you. Deep in a fold of your brain called the superior temporal sulcus, there are neurons that do almost nothing except track eyes, which direction they're pointing, whether they're pointed at you. In monkeys, researchers found individual cells that fire when another face turns its gaze toward them and go quiet the instant that gaze slides away. You have versions of these cells too, and they come online frighteningly early. In 2002, a team led by Teresa Ferroni tested newborns, babies just 2 to 5 days old who could barely see. Given a choice between a face looking straight at them and the same face looking away, the newborns stared longer at the direct gaze. Before they had language, before they had memory, before they knew what a person even was, they already knew when they were being looked at. Eye contact isn't something you learn. You're shipped with it. And your gaze detector has a setting that explains everything. In 2013, researchers led by Colin Clifford ran an experiment where people looked at faces whose eye direction was hidden or ambiguous. You couldn't quite tell where they were pointed. The question was simple. What does the brain guess when it isn't sure? The answer was consistent. When in doubt, people assumed the eyes were aimed straight at them. Think about what that means. Your brain's default in the absence of clear information is not "no one is looking." It's "someone is looking," and it's you. Uncertainty doesn't resolve to safety. It resolves to being watched. In a dim room, in the dark behind you, in the corner your eyes can't quite reach. That's maximum uncertainty. And maximum uncertainty is exactly where the system is built to assume a pair of eyes. This is why the empty room does it. Your sharp, detailed vision only covers a tiny circle at the center of your sight, about the width of your thumbnail held at arm's length. Everything else, the entire edge of your world, is low-resolution guesswork. Your brain doesn't show you the periphery. It predicts it, filling the blur with its best guess about what's probably there. It's the same reason a coat slung over a chair becomes a person for half a second. Why a knot in the wood seems to look back at you. Why a face surfaces in the shadows and dissolves the instant you turn to face it. Your brain would rather show you 100 phantom watchers than let one real one go unseen. And when the guess involves the space behind you, where there's no visual information at all, the system falls back on its oldest assumption. Something could be there. Assume eyes. Turn around. But the strangest part isn't the biology. It's what this system built. Because the same instinct that makes you spin around in an empty room doesn't switch off when there's no predator. It just keeps detecting. Anthropologist Stuart Guthrie and psychologist Justin Barrett called it the hyperactive agency detection device. A mind so tuned to find watchers, actors, and intentions behind events that it finds them even when nothing is there. A shadow becomes a figure. Wind in the trees becomes a presence. The rustle in the grass that had no cause at all becomes something that meant to make the sound. Now scale that up. A hunter feels watched on an empty plain and senses a spirit. A whole tribe feels watched by the sky and names it a god. The unexplained death, the failed harvest, the sound in the night. The mind that assumes agency behind the noise doesn't just keep you alive. It populates the entire world with invisible watchers. Every ghost story, every guardian, every god looking down from above. They may all grow from the same neurons that just made you check the doorway. The feeling came first. The explanations came later. For most of human history, people didn't know they had a superior temporal sulcus or an overtuned alarm. They just knew with total certainty that in the dark, something was watching. And they were, in a sense, right. Because the thing watching was the system inside their own skull, doing the one job it was built to do. So the next time you're alone in a quiet room and the back of your neck goes cold, the next time you turn around and find nothing there, understand what's actually happening. That isn't paranoia. It isn't your mind breaking. It's a 300,000-year-old machine doing exactly what it was designed to do, running the same calculation it ran for every ancestor who ever lay awake at the edge of the firelight. Every one of them felt watched. Most of the time, nothing was there. But the ones who stopped checking, the ones who finally felt safe in the dark, didn't leave descendants. You feel watched in an empty room because you come from an unbroken line of people who could not stop looking over their shoulder. It kept them alive long enough to become you. The room is empty. It almost always is. And some ancient part of you will never, ever believe it.